I think say we all knew say former president, the 45th president, has been elected as the president of the US. It was a shock to Obia. I think say the election in the US different from different parts of the world. The election in the US your BBFL the popular vote and any award the electoral vote. That's how it works in the US. But as politics is about politics. Politics is about politics. You don't always win. When you look at the data, the projections, the analysis, nimpa eye but what really went wrong? It's like now we live in a society. It's not like back in the days. Whatever your family members believe, you also believe in the same principles. Now, talking about the Gen Zs, talking about the baby boomers, they all have mind of their own. Omo make it decision. And everybody say be a wadwin say, but no entisa. Let's go straight into the point. Mama Trump winning. Let's put it on a scale of preference and see say we can come out with something. And when you watch CNN, when you watch NBC, when you watch MSNBC, when you watch Fox News, Obia Emmanuel analysis, and people give concrete analysis as to say, but let me say that analysis is, I always say analysis is always an opinion. Analysis is an opinion as Anipakono or no OGD. It's up to the next person to believe it, or that person will also move on to do a research in order for the person to come to terms and or Judi and I say on Juntum. That's what happened. And election nobody should share. So then that was November 5th. Actually, I did vote. Yeah. Nobody should share. So the popular vote, since I think 2004, if I'm not mistaken or if I'm not wrong, since 2004, Democrats has always been winning the popular vote. And at this time, I make a say, Donald Trump won the popular vote by almost 5 million. Donald J. Trump won the popular vote by almost 5 million. That is the difference. And the buyer. Let's go back near here way. The electoral vote, Donald Trump had 276. You need 270 to secure the presidency, to win the presidency. Trump had 276. Whilst Democrats, Kamala Harris had 223. Back to the Senate. Now, Republicans have almost about 51 seats, meaning they are going to be the majority when it comes to the Senate. And even still, Democrats have almost about 42. So it's still left with almost 7 seats. It has not been called. And you never knew if Democrats will win or Republicans will also get maybe 1 out of that, and that will bring it to, I think, 48-52. If not, and Democrats are able to win all the remaining 7 seats, which has not been called now, that is, Democrats will have 49 and Republicans will have 51. But yet still, the majority in the Senate is going to be the Republicans. Based on your own practical analysis, number 1, I think what is making Democrats unpopular? 1, it's about the economy, the economy, because now everything has become so expensive. So expensive. And ama nkɔfoɔ any ngye ho sɛ ade na nneɛma is so expensive, sir. It's one of the reasons nneɛma has become so expensive. Like there's no price control. Nti the speed at which prices no air cost is unbelievable. Number two, I think we can also talk about the war that is going on. According to Tokwana Ekosono, Nipa Bibrieno, they don't like war. Because, I mean, war causes destruction. War kills people. And people really don't want it. When you look at the war that is going on, Israel, Iran, the Houthis, the Hezbollahs, all those people, and Tokwana Ekosono, nobody wants it. And they can't really stop it because no matter how Democrats steps in to fight or ask for a ceasefire, the ceasefire doesn't really work. And that has been what is going on for some time. Ceasefire, and Juma. So Ukraine and Russia is the same way. The fight keeps going on, and like they have to send money to a friend saying Ukraine. And I feel said there must be a dialogue. They have to sit down and have a adult conversation to stop the war that is going on in Ukraine. Because the war going on in Ukraine, and the truth of the matter is Russia is one of the superpowers in the world. And it's Russia, according to say, let me just use this as an analogy. Say in boxing, you have someone who is a heavyweight fighter. Then you have someone who is maybe a lightweight or featherweight, fighter. Then you put the two together. Remember, said the punches are a heavyweight, or no, ebeto no. Say lightweight fighter no, eto 5 times. And to me, I get 1 punch about 2, And as much as you're saying, say Russia is causing more destruction in Ukraine, and as they causes more destruction in Ukraine, Ukraine in return also causes some damages, but that is little. So it could be like 92% damage to Ukraine and only 8% damage to Russia. As why can't we have a dialogue? Why can't we have a conversation? Why can't we have diplomacy? I think the Saudi diplomacy, Burma, a bit to me, it changes the dynamics of things. That is one thing I believe. Ukraine is fighting, Russia is fighting, the China issue is there, and concrete way to stop the fight. It has become one of the reasons in here. Ama and Tokwa also echo. Then when it happens that way, the government in power obey so unpopular. And when you look at most of the time when Kamala Harris or court interview and the certain questions are being asked now, even as a layman, you could see say she's not able to answer the question as you wish say and answer question. There are certain times now, she tried to swerve or swing around or tweak around the question just to put a blame on someone who is an opposition. I think that did not really sit well with most of the people. That did not really resonate with people. It's one of the factors. Talking about the border issue also is something that I think America is a great country. America is one of the best country, and America is the best country in the world. Say when you are here, nobody bothers you. You just go about nyawoye. But ubia of a process mubabiano, say you have to go through a process where you have to do fingerprint, where they have to give you a form for you to fill internet. Whilst in the country, they know the records of you. When anything goes wrong, they can easily identify you based on your fingerprints. That is one thing I say. We are there. That has been a plan, and as the system comes to a point say people crossing from because of them, they don't know Nimpani yet. It tends to be something I don't think say the US are against, traveling to the US. No, because you might be the greatest percentage of the job, no, immigrants, no, yes, international immigrants, they play a vital role in the economy of the US. But just for people to cross the border and comes in without proper documentation and as a proper fingerprint, and when it borders, and you can over to me, I check it back. Say in the New York, there was a time some of the people that came from those places, they were fighting with the police. They were arguing with the police. They were fighting with the police, and some of them were also stealing. And because they were stealing on, say, if I can't buy any service, a cramp or they buy a cramp, no, no, bibinia yet me who. No, it's also part of it. And when Trump began, okay, Trump is more like a jovial person. That's the way, based on my analysis or my findings, Trump is a person who jokes a lot. And there are certain things where serious now you are putting policies together. No, he's just joking around. And he speaks to the street. And there's certain language that he uses, the street loves it. The street really loves the way Okasa into the street listen to him. And he also has a fan base. And the case is about, there are some of the people they think say some is true, and almost is a be also a political witch hunt. And because of that, how can say one person like Serenia Basabi Biano, Drageno, Ewo, we ononkwa into what you say, San Yomanino, Emma and Kofo, move to the base. Talking about even the Arab, Americans, they supported him because Entokona Koso or Palestinian any the Hamas issue near there, and they feel say they can't really find a concrete solution to the situation. It's also part of it. It's part of it. And as I always share, friends saying Hispanics, the same thing. The movie says something is missing. It's also part of it. So being to me funny because Trump is someone who will tell you wrong in your face, whether you like it or not. He will tell you wrong in your face. You may disagree with Trump on certain things. Okay, but the reality of it is that I take those things as being more jovial, because according to reports I'm reading, when Trump was the president, like price of gas, it was like it stayed within $2 and change. That's how gas prices were when Trump was the president. And with the market, the same thing, the economy was, because Trump was a little bit tough in a way, especially excuse me 1 second. When it comes to China, Trump not a very tough China, so not the businesses were resetting, and most of the black people that I had opportunity to speak to, almost I can say in business wise, when Trump was the president, their businesses were moving on. But don't get me wrong, currently, the economy is okay. Currently, at this time here, the US economy is okay, but the only thing is that prices just keep growing, because all is about inflation. Because when there's an inflation now, at the end of the day, people cannot even get opportunity to pay their bills, to be able to buy stuff and all those things. It's come into contest. And Trump winning, and I believe say it's about time the Democratic Party needs to sit back and analyze things. Say what really went wrong. Was it based on messaging? Was it based on what Nyoma Air Koso, the war that is going on back and forth now? They couldn't stop it, they couldn't prevent it. Talking about China and Taiwan, they are also at once will be talking about some of the US military. They are even being attacked by those Houthis and those countries, some of the Iran, resistance. They've been attacking US positions, and we can't really hit back hard like when Trump was there. When Trump was there, if you hit Any US base, Trump will make sure they will hit you back. Now he become more like he was always using his executive powers to make decisions. And yet Bibiana sometimes he want to go through having a consensus. There are certain times he want to hit you back. And but like I always tell you, democracy is good because democracy is about accountability. And I think the US is the beacon of democracy. We voted yesterday. By the time we got up early in the morning today, they've already been Trump has already been projected. That is the beauty of democracy. There was no problem, there was no chaos, there were no fight. Some they are still counting, certain states they are still counting. The funny aspect of it is those swing states, most of the swing states also went to Trump, like Wisconsin, like Georgia, like those swing states that people will be, because when they talk about swing state, we have red state, we have blue state, and we have swing state. So with the swing state, they can go left or they can go right. That's why we call them swing. They swing. They can go left or they can go right. And when I talk about the red states, those red states, they are more Republicans. Or more, they are Republicans. Then when you talk about blue states now, let's say blue states, and they most at times tend to vote for Democrats. It's so shocking. Say there are some of the states, place like New Jersey, place like New York. Nobody thought said Trump would even get 33% in New York. Back in the days, Republicans, their popularity in New York, was 0. But now it's so shocking. Say Trump was able to get almost over 33% of votes in New York, which is a blue state. So now psychologically, when you look at it critically, even some of the blue states are trying to turn to swing years to come. That's what I'm seeing. New Jersey, the same thing. New Jersey, most of the time, like New Jersey, Connecticut, New York, we know Vermont, we know they all lean to Democrats. But now it has changed. Like New York have almost about 28 electoral votes. They won it. But talking about Trump being able to get 33%, is kind of shocking. So I think Democrats need to sit down, find a new group of leaders, try to encourage them, and sharpen their messaging. And one final point is once any government in power, your popularity is always low. Any government in power, your popularity is always low. So this is the short message or my short understanding of what happened yesterday. And I hope we will congratulate the US for a free and fair election. No violence, nobody was killed. Everybody get up this morning and we're all back to work. People are working. And nobody's even talking about it. Once election is done, it's gone. We move on. That's the spirit of the US and the spirit of New York. New York, we don't break, we don't fold. Thank you for listening. Thank you for listening. Yo, be a best remember back, but remember to subscribe, leave a comment, share. Leaving a comment is very good because maybe you may have a different opinion from member to also the opinion to one and also thank you for listening once again. All right, thank you.